And I think it's important also for people to know that, like, the Democrats, right? Obviously, race is very important. I mean, it's a big reason why they put Kamala in that position to run, because they were scared that if they put another Democrat in, it would look bad to go over a black woman, right? So they're like, oh, that's going to be death for us, because the Democrats
Joy Reid even said that outright.
Absolutely. Because the Democrats run on race. Why do they run on race? They run on race because it's a game of, oh, look, these rich white Republicans, they're keeping you down, man. Like, we want to go ahead and fill the disparity. That's what it is. They campaign on disparity. You're a Latino, you're a black, you're a minority, etc. They're holding you back. Let me come in and be your voice and get you what you need. That's why people like Kamala Harris say, oh, we're going to go ahead and turn the page, or opportunity economy. What did Obama campaign on? Oh, change, right? So their thing is, we're going to attack these Republicans because they have money and they don't care about you, and they want to give tax cuts to the rich and to the rich people at the top. We're going to help you, and that's why they campaign so hard on identity politics. It's literally like a necessary component of how they campaign. It's all smoke and mirrors with race and politics.
Well, but now what we have is a situation where Republicans are the party of the working class.
Yeah.
So the Democrats can't run on that anymore.
Yeah,
and anti-war too, which is crazy.
Which
now
is
they're
great.
anti-war Republicans.
Anti-war working class, yeah.
The post by Ezra Klein that Tim was referencing this morning, the last, we were talking about this earlier, the last paragraph says, the most important question in politics isn't whether a politician is well-liked, it's whether voters think a politician or a political coalition likes them. And the Democrats have been telling the American people that they don't like them forever. They've been canceling people. So if you don't align with them perfectly, if you step out of line, you're canceled. They've been telling Republicans that they are, first it was Obama with the they cling to their God and their guns. Then Clinton said it was
reiterated that the other day.
Yeah. Then Clinton said that it was the deplorables. Biden said that MAGA Republicans are a threat to the very soul of this nation. Then he called them garbage. These ideas have been actually ingrained into America now. The Democrats have become the party of the wealthy elite, and they look down on Americans. And Donald Trump made it abundantly clear that even though he's a rich guy, he doesn't hate Americans or America. He did it when he when he went and got in the garbage truck. He did it when he went and he sold, when he was selling McDonald's food. He did it when he bought a boatload of McDonald's and had it in the White House.
Yeah.
He speaks to the American people and he says, I don't hate you. I know that I got a lot of money. I know that I'm a different kind of guy, but I don't hate you. And the Democrats have been telling Americans that they hate them for at least the past 15 years. Every time they lose an election, they're leaving.
Well,
the government, every time they lose an election, they say, I'm getting out of here. I don't want to be, I'm ashamed of my country. They say nothing good about America unless they're winning. And the narrative that they believe. The 1619 Project, America's inherently racist, America's inherently sexist. Everything that the Democrats say is, I hate America. So why should Americans support them?
No, also interesting too. J.D. Vance, when I was watching him, do his speeches and the rallies and everything, he would always say, hey, join the party of common sense. And that's when I said, holy crap, we are cooked. We're at a point now in America where our politicians are campaigning on having fucking common sense. How far left have we gone? How loony have we become where you're campaigning on we are the common sense party? That's how far the left has gone, right? Acknowledging all these different, wanting to reaffirm children, their community, all the crap that's going on with that, the foreign wars, right? Like, I mean, for me, I think my biggest voting issue was foreign policy. Clearly, the Democrats couldn't get a hold. They couldn't reel Netanyahu in. They couldn't control what's going on with Russia, Ukraine. I mean, Kamala Harris was in Eastern Europe 2 weeks before Russia invaded. They haven't talked to Putin in 2 years. How are you doing that? Our adversaries are laughing at us. You think Putin or any of these countries, they're saying around campaigning on, oh yeah, we campaign on common sense. No. We're the only ones.
There's a few key points. Famously, Democrats never learn their lesson. Mm-hmm. Remember the story about Donald Trump liking well-done steaks with ketchup?
Sure.
Yeah. They made fun of him. They said, here's a guy who ordered a 30-day dry-aged steak well done with ketchup, and they laughed. Trump knew what he was doing. He was saying to all the working-class people who couldn't afford the expensive steaks, who go to the grocery store and buy their T-bones, I eat my steak like you do. Trump was basically saying, Oh yeah, I could have a medium rare filet mignon with some black garlic at a fancy restaurant.
Truffle oil.
Truffle oil, all that good stuff. Herb butter. That's the thing that the rich people love. They love their herb butter on their steak. And instead he said, give me well done with ketchup because that's what the people do. I'll eat like the people today. They made fun of him. They weren't making fun of Trump. They didn't realize it. They were insulting that regular working class guy who got home and said, hey, man, I can't afford a filet mignon for my family. We do our best. Okay, we cook them the way we can cook them. We put ketchup on them because it tastes good and that's the best we got. Now, I know regular working people know how to cook good steaks too. But when I grew up, we rarely got the good filet mignon because my family couldn't afford it.
It's expensive.
So when they made fun of Trump, they made fun of what my life was like when I was a kid.
Yep.
And they made fun of all these other working people. When Donald Trump went to McDonald's with a smile on his face, and Bill Burr said he was so excited. He's like, this is where they do
He kept the
it.
tie on. He took off his jacket. He put on the apron. He kept the tie and the button down.
And they made fun of him, and they attacked him for it. And it was legit a fun thing for him to do, to say, I'm going to spend a day in your shoes and be here. And the people who were in the cars, they were all pre-screened. We knew that. And they were like, Trump didn't really work at McDonald's.
And it's like, oh, really? Did he not? Are you kidding?
Well, we know Kamala
Okay.
didn't. We know Kamala did
The
it.
joke was, did you think we, the American people, thought Trump went to a random McDonald's, applied for a job, got an interview, got hired, and then showed up for work one day?
After 2 assassination attempts.
Yeah, we knew.
Yeah.
And then the garbage truck thing was masterful.
Yeah.
It was very funny.
And they kept making fun of him every step of the way.
But they
Democrat
were-
Puritans can't ever just say sometimes Trump is funny.
This was all speaking to the fact that they hate Americans.
It is that they hate Americans. And the day after the election, who did they blame for Kamala's loss?
Americans.
They said Americans are racist and Americans are sexist and Americans don't know
don't-
what's good for them and Americans are evil. And that's why America voted for Trump. That's
can't-
all they could come up with. They didn't realize that they lost us
Yeah.
a long time ago. And they also don't realize that when Trump goes out there and talks to people, he's not palling around with Beyonce and he's not palling around with, Megan Thee Stallion.
He's
and
hanging out with the My
Bon
Pillow guy.
Jovi or whatever else. He's hanging out with regular people that we can relate to. You know what I mean? And Kamala Harris, she doesn't talk to us. She didn't even think we were worth giving an interview to.
Yep.
You know what I mean? She didn't even hold a press conference when she was running for office. She didn't think that reporters were worth listening to, or the people were worth listening to. And everybody that Donald Trump talks to, he talks to the same. I only met him once and it was in a press gaggle and I didn't get to ask a question. I only get to shake his hand and say nice to meet you, Mr. President. And he looked at me like I was a real person. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I would have ever gotten something like that from Kamala Harris.
Trump, and there's a handful of other guys like Tucker Carlson. These guys know how to make you feel like you're the most important person in the room. And
Biden does that. Biden was good at that too. He's a good retail politician.
yeah. I got to
It's
tell
been
you.
so long.
So there's a handful of people you will meet in your life, and you're going to be like, you just like this person.
Yeah.
Russell Brand is one of them. We're hanging out at the Rescue the Republic event, and I'm just standing off the side with Allison, and Russell's walking down. He stops, he looks over at me, he comes over, and he's like, Tim, oh, it's so great to meet you. And I was like, wow, like, Russell, thank you so much. They know how to make you feel good. They make you feel like you matter, and it's greatly appreciated. Trump does that. He's walking around, he sees you, he compliments you, he shakes your hand, he tells you how good you are, how great you are, and then you're just like, I want to be around that guy more often.
Yeah.
And that's how he pulls it off. Trump, I've been to like 30 plus Trump rallies, and that was in the first campaign, not the second or third. After he speaks, he walks down off the stage and walks up to the front of the line, and he hangs out with people for like 20, 30 minutes. I'm like, this guy's a machine. This is crazy. And he just shakes their hand and he talks to them. And each and every one of those people is sitting there being like, this is one of the greatest days of my life. As a man that is fighting for me, that I respect, and he, a billionaire, has given me, just some working class guy, the time of day.
He respects Americans and he respects that we work and he respects that we try and raise our kids. I mean,
Only politician that came in with a higher net worth than left with less money. Every other politician goes in with a certain net worth. They come
Right?
out with way more money.
look at Nancy Pelosi.
He came in and
How
lost
did she
money.
Get rich.
Yep.
How did Nancy Pelosi get that rich?
Yep.
I find it so fascinating that they're attacking Pete Hegseth right now. Like I see some of the tweets.
Yeah.
And they're just like,
What are they saying? Inexperience, or what are they claiming?
inexperienced.
Too young?
Yeah. Harry Sisson is like a Fox News host.
He was a major.
Even Elizabeth Warren
20
is
years.
like saying that Hegseth will make us less safe and must be rejected. How could we be less safe than right now? Like, that would be pretty shocking.
I'm seeing criticism from
Reid is
people saying
saying
he's
stuff.
pro-Israel. And so I'm like, why is the machine acting like they're all of a sudden opposed to this? It's because he's anti-woke. It's because Hegseth has been extremely critical of DEI, and he wants merit-based military. And so,
Also, he's a real vet, not a fake one like Tim
Right.
Waltz.
yep. Well, I'll give Waltz credit for being a vet. I don't
Sure.
want, I can respect that, but he lied about his rank and he lied about carrying weapons of war in war. Seamus made a joke
And he
on Freedom
retired
Tunes.
before deployment.
Seamus made a joke. I think his Freedom Tunes bit was that Tim Waltz was having PTSD flashbacks, and the flashback was like eating at Italian restaurants and like spilling his spaghetti on the floor, and he's like, because he was in Italy. I mean, he's doing security that's respectable. I don't want to rag on the guy for that. I'm going to rag on the guy for lying. But yeah, I'm. You know what they don't like? They don't like that. I like that quote. He didn't work for Raytheon for 20 years.
I think that's good.
Military contractor or whatever.
Meanwhile, Hegseth went to Princeton. He has a graduate degree from Harvard.
Yep.
He's an Army combat veteran. He was in Guantanamo, Iraq, and Afghanistan. He got 2 Bronze Stars
He's been
and
in
a
combat.
infantryman's badge.
Yeah.
Like, he has all of the credentials of the left. He has the things that they want
value.
their leaders to have, that they value. But it's not enough for them.
It's opposition for the sake of opposition.